Thinking about buying a franchise? Don't go it alone. Just like a buyer's agent in real estate, you deserve someone who's on your side every step of the way. That's where Todd Abraham, the franchise guy, comes in. Todd's consulting services are completely free to anyone looking to buy a franchise. He'll represent your interest, make sure all your questions are answered, and walk you through the entire buying process. With Todd in your corner, you'll have the best chance for success from your first call to the day you hold the keys to your new business. So before you buy a franchise, talk to someone who knows the industry inside and out and works for you. Call Todd Abraham, the franchise guy, today at 423-381-0925 for a free, no-pressure consultation. That's 423-381-0925. Your future in franchising starts here. Good afternoon and welcome to the Franchise Flashlight podcast series. My name is Todd Abraham. I will be your host. And today we have got a really cool guest with us by the name of Robert Geiger. And he is the founder of Spinwiches, which is a play on words, if you will, for a really cool, unique style of sandwich. But let me tell you, it's more than just these cool sandwiches. They've got some desserts that make me want to drive to Florida and try them out. They look that good.
Worth the drive, yes.
Yeah, yeah. So, Robert, welcome to the podcast, my friend.
Hi, glad to be here.
Yep. So I always love, this is I think interview number 41 I've done with different franchisors. And of course, I've done a lot of, a good many of those have been from franchisors from the food sector, but yours combines not just a unique, tasty food concept, but the presentation is like really awesome. And so if you want to check out the website while you're listening to the podcast, it's spinwiches.com. So let me spell that because it sounds a little bit odd, maybe to the ears. Spin, as in spin the wheel, spin, witches, which of course is the last part of sandwiches. So it's spinwiches.com. And while you're checking that out, if you are able to bypass all the beautiful food pictures without starving, you can look at the Our Story link, and there's a link for the franchise information there. So, Robert, tell us a little bit about yourself, your background, and kind of what gave you the idea for the whole Spinwiches concept.
Okay. Well, my partner and I, for about 14 years, we had kind of a high-end sandwich shop in Washington, Georgia. And after a while, we got where we needed to be back in Florida to be closer to family. So we sold off our cafe there and moved back to Florida. But corporate life just was not working out. It had changed so much that it just wasn't fun. And after being self-employed for 25 years, just was not feeling it. And so we were living in Tampa, Florida, and went to, of all things, a Cuban food festival where someone there was presenting this unique kind of bread that we absolutely loved. And it turned out that the gentleman was from Hungary, but he was living in South Florida, and he was there showing the bread. So we loved it, researched it, and decided we wanted to get back into food service after three years away. And so we researched it, developed from a 300-year-old recipe, just something that would work for us. And we found a storefront that had just come open in High Springs, Florida. And we were going to do a food truck, but we still needed a place to work out of. So I looked at this space, rented it on the spot. Everything was right. The location was good, price was right, and within a very short amount of time we were in operation. And fortunately, we did find this spot because 5 months later, COVID hit and everything was on lockdown. So we were able to, while we were in lockdown, still stay in business. Fortunately, in Florida, food service was considered essential business, essential personnel. So we were able to do call-in orders and take out and curbside delivery. So while we were still getting our feet wet, we were able to grow. We were one of the few businesses during the quarantine that we prospered. We were able to grow. People that normally would not have been able to dine with us, since they were working from home, they were able to call in and experience this. So we just had our 6th anniversary, and it's been constant growth and development. So we've been very, very fortunate.
Cool. So, and if you want to go directly to the franchise link, it literally is spinwichesfranchising.com. But like I said, if you go to their primary website, which is spinwiches.com, click on the Our Story link, the franchise information link will open up in a new tab from there. The website looks awesome. So does the franchise information website. So, how long have you been a franchise, and then how many corporate locations do you currently have?
Well, we spent a little over a year developing with FMS the I guess the branding and so forth. We did have a different name. We started out as Spins, and we were having difficulty with the copyright and trademark. So we were successful in changing the name from Spins to Spinwiches, and we did secure the trademark. And so we've been offering franchises under that name for just over a year now. Right now, we're the only location. We have a couple people that are interested, but they're scared to pull the trigger because they're not 100% sure. One of them visited us today. They're in Gainesville, Florida, and they have a location, but they're trying to bring one of the business partners on board. He's still kind of iffy because he started doing smash burgers and he's happy with that. But the other partners in that business, they're more inclined to go with what we're doing because they see a lot higher potential, because burger joints are going out of business left and right in the Gainesville area. I mean, big
Well,
businesses are going out.
yeah, and not only that, but I mean, your business model is really unique. I mean, my God, there's probably 100 different style of burger joints. I mean,
Yeah,
not
exactly.
not counting the fast food ones, that are so successful. So if it were me and I'm a franchisee looking for a food sector business model, I mean, I'm not being partial. I would jump on yours quicker than I would on
Yeah.
any kind of a burger concept because it's such a unique thing. And it's a beautiful, I mean, I'm telling you, you got to check out the website if you're listening to this podcast, SPIN, Witches, WICHES.com. I mean, and look at the presentation of this food. I mean, it just, even if you wasn't hungry, you'd probably get hungry just staring at the pictures. So give us a little bit of a sample for just verbally for what types of entrees that you offer, what
Okay.
types of sandwiches or what have you.
Okay. Well, our biggest seller is our chicken salad sandwich, or spinwich as we call it. We start with just roasting chicken breast and dicing it, and then adding all the components. It is literally one of the best chicken salads you're going to have, and we have people that come from miles around just to have our chicken salad. And little over a week ago, we had 3 women that were visiting from Cedar Key, which is about an hour and a half from where we are. And they let me know that they were chicken salad snobs and connoisseurs, and that we literally had the best chicken salad they ever had. And so
That's awesome.
that alone, the chicken salad alone, pays our lease and keeps our lights on.
Great. That's great. Yeah. I mean, but what's cool about this, it's for lack of a better explanation, I try to keep things simple. It's kind of like a sub sandwich type concept, but the bread that they use is so much different and the presentation is so much more beautiful. And they've got like a curried apple egg salad, they've got a Cuban, they got a meatball, they got a chunky chickpea. And you said the chunky chickpea is a big seller, right?
It is. We have a fairly large and growing number of vegetarian and vegans in the area, and we can't be all things to all people, but we did try to have a few options that were different from the norm. So, we have the curried apple egg salad, which some people appreciate that are in the vegetarian lifestyle. But the chunky chickpea is one of those things that is growing in popularity, weekly, just because it's simple. And it's fresh. We make everything fresh daily, from the bread to the chicken salad, the shrimp salad. Everything is handmade daily by myself and my partner.
That's great. So now your hours of operation, are you a 7 day a week operation?
We're 6 days a week. It's primarily my partner and I, and then we just did an expansion, and we were able to hire someone. We have more space to accommodate additional help. But we're currently Monday through Saturday, 11 to 5. But anyone that's interested in a franchise, we would certainly work with them with extended hours. Some of the people that are talking to us right now, they want to know, since we don't currently do breakfast, would we help them develop a breakfast menu? And absolutely. We don't want to limit operations, especially say if you're in a college town where people are used to being out and dining till 9, 10, 12 o'clock at night. We certainly want to work with any franchisee as far as expanding hours of operation and developing specific sandwiches for their region.
Right. And I think it's awesome that, everything's made fresh. I mean, I know that's a big selling point.
Yeah.
So now your average menu price is going to be what, around $15? Is that right?
Correct.
Yeah.
Correct. Like our most expensive combo would be like our shrimp salad, which is like $1 more per sandwich than anything else. So a sandwich with a drink is going to average around just over $16.
Yeah, but see, even for even McDonald's. I mean, you can barely go to McDonald's now and get out there with a combo meal for about less than that much. So
Right.
you're talking about much healthier eating and
Correct.
definitely. So now you have a drive-through at your my primary
We,
location.
we, we don't have a drive through. We do quite a bit of takeout. But going back with the sandwich, all of our sandwiches come with chips and a choice of a homemade side. So we make all of our sides fresh daily as well. So you get quite a bit of food for the price. But as far as the business, we're primarily a bulk of what we do is takeout, but we've just expanded our seating area. So we added an additional 38 seats recently. We were able to expand to a vacant spot next to us, so we can seat 50 people indoors now, and we have a big patio.
Awesome.
We can seat almost 30 people outdoors, and so the response to the additional seating has been overwhelming. Prior to that, we could seat I think it was maybe 16 to 18 people, but now with the expanded dining room, we're having larger groups of people dine with us more frequently. So that's been huge for us.
So give us I know it's on your website, but give us the address and location of your primary spot.
Okay, we are 23677 West US Highway 27 in High Spring, Florida.
Gotcha. Now you are your franchisees that come on board, you're totally open to them having a drive-through concept as well. I mean, not totally drive-through, but I'm talking
Right.
about having a drive-through window.
Oh, absolutely. We would
Yeah.
definitely work with them. And part of with developing the franchises, we will help narrow down locations. The idea is we want it to be successful. So
Right.
helping with narrow down specific areas and rental and so forth. But we would definitely be open to developing a drive-through window, even expanding catering options and even food truck type operations as well.
Oh yeah, food truck. You know, one of the things that I love, because I've interviewed several food sector franchisors rather, that have both concepts. And what I love about the food truck concept, in addition to having the storefront, is that you've got business coming from both ends. So you're taking the business to the public. Your vehicle that you're going to be doing business out of is like a rolling billboard.
Mhm.
But you're not just waiting for people to come to you. You're out there in, public. And, you can think of all the obvious venues, like, stadiums where football games and
Mhm.
stuff are played or whatever, fairs,
Right.
festivals. I mean, because, let's face it, America is just ate up with festivals now. I
Yeah.
mean, it's,
Yeah. Yeah.
even I live in Southeast Tennessee in a town called Athens, and I still could feels like a small town, but even these little bitty towns, they've got the strawberry festival and the
Right.
fried green tomato festival, so it's great for people that have, that food truck concept.
Right.
But that's cool. So I just wanted to just run over a few costs here for the franchises. So the franchise fee is 35,000.
Correct.
The royalties 6%. Now, those two, the 35,000 franchise fee and the 6% monthly royalty, that is the industry standard right now.
Hmm.
Local advertising is 3% of
Right.
gross sales, and then the corporate fund is 1% of gross sales.
Correct.
And then, according to your franchise information website,
Mhm.
the estimated initial investment capital is between 125,000 roughly on up to about 214.
Correct.
And that does include the franchise fee for those of you who are listening. Um, so again, I encourage anybody listening to this podcast, by all means, check out the the website, because if you're not hungry, you will be after you go through that. Even the franchise information page, man, is just like, this thing is just chock full of great food. Now it looks like, I'm looking at the franchise information page. It looks like you've got like five different kinds of bread, right?
Well, we have one basic bread that lends itself to a lot of different things. I call it food alchemy. For instance, we have the main bread, but then we for our desserts we will bake a certain a specific size of the bread, and then we'll coat it with cinnamon sugar, and that completely changes the flavor profile of the bread. But we also can, before we bake it, we can roll it into, let's say, uh, we do a feta cheese and herb that would be layered on the outside before it's baked. And then we do a cheddar and herb, a lot of different varieties of flavors of bread that we're able to do. But it's one basic bread, and then we can add again like the various cheeses on there, and then bake it off, and it just gives a whole complete flavor profile.
Now, how long do you think it would take a franchisee, once they sign up and get the process started, to get trained on how to accomplish the menu items based on the recipes that you have?
Well, we would be committed to working daily with the franchisee. It would realistically take about 2 weeks
Right.
to really the making the food. That part it's easy to get proficient at. But the way we make the bread is once we have the dough, we roll it out, cut it into strips, and then roll it onto a dowel where it will do a second rise. But that technique of learning how to roll the dough and get it properly on the bread and get the right thickness and so forth, it takes a lot of practice. Um, but we work with you because I remember when we were starting out, I would be in my kitchen at night. We had a big island, and I would just practice rolling out dough for hours. And but it really doesn't take that long. I think within 2 weeks, someone could be very proficient at making the dough and rolling it out and getting it baked off.
So I'm going to be punny here and say that once they learn how to roll the dough, and if they follow your instructions and really work the business, in time they could be rolling in the dough.
Oh, that's the plan. Yes, absolutely.
I couldn't resist that when you
Of
said about rolling the
course, I
dough. I
love
was
it.
like, man, that is great, man. Learn how to roll the dough, and if you really put your heart and soul into it,
Mhm.
in just a short time, you could be rolling in the dough. That's
Oh,
great.
definitely. Yeah.
All right. So, what inspired you to become a franchise as opposed to just, trying to open store, new locations yourself?
Well, we have our hands full with this location. I mean, it is beyond a labor of love. I mean, it's one of those things where we're very prideful in it. We love what we do, but it's very, very time consuming. And at the same time, we had, especially early on, we had so many people that had heard about us that came in and they were asking pointed questions because we could tell they wanted to do what we were doing, um, kind of fishing for information.
Right.
And we even had some people from Epcot, and they told us point blank, it's like, we work for Disney and we look at food concepts to see what we can pretty much steal and take back to the World Pavilion.
Right.
And so that's where it's like, well, we have so many people that are trying to figure out what we do and how to do it. We need to just go ahead and try to start doing some marketing ourselves and get some other people on board. The bread is the easy part once you learn that formula for the bread, but doing what we do with what goes into it, it's not easy. It's not easy to duplicate that. So they've become a perfect marriage and hybrid of something we were doing in Georgia with. So we married our recipes with that with this bread, and we actually modified the original 300-year-old recipe and made it, I think, even better. So that's where we got the inspiration, was what so many people coming from different parts of Florida and even Georgia that had heard about us online wanted to experience, but based on their pointed questions, we knew they were trying to figure out how they could duplicate what we were doing.
Yeah, well, I think if I read correctly on your website, this is kind of a Hungarian concept from many, many years ago, right?
Correct. It's still the bread is still a very common street food in Hungary. I looked at some recent YouTube videos, and you still have people using the old school coals out on the street where the bread is turning on the spit, and you see ashes flying up on it. And they have some pretty massive loaves that is designed to share among a family. And it's only within, I'd say, the last 10, 15 years that the concept has been spreading out. And it's growing in popularity. Most people that are using the bread concept are using it for desserts. We're one of the few that are using it as a more savory means, a vessel to serve sandwiches and to pair with soups and salads.
And that's cool that you not only have these unique sandwiches, but you've got soups, you've got salads, you've got desserts, but they're all based on that concept. If you're listening to this and you are somebody that's considering buying a food franchise, especially in like the sandwich sector, I have to say I'm 57 years old. I'm single. My son is grown and gone, so I do a lot of eating out. But I have never seen a concept like this before, and I really think the price point is really good, because again, that's about the average of what you're going to spend. Even if you go to like Arby's or any of the fast food restaurants, you're going to do good to get out of there, for that amount or less. Um, and and plus, it's still considered like fast kind of casual dining, right? So
Correct. Fast
yeah,
casual.
kind of like a Subway or a Quiznos or whatever. But the beauty of it is that the only location right now is their primary location in what city in Florida again?
We're in High Springs. We're about 20
High
miles from
Springs.
Gainesville.
Yeah, right. So it's something that somebody with the right moxie could just jump in and really blow it up, especially in a bigger city like, Atlanta or Chattanooga or Knoxville or any bigger city like that, because Americans are fixated on experiences, man. They love new stuff. They love
Right.
unique stuff. And so, and it's a good price point because, just looking at the investment range, if someone could start at around 125,000. That's a really good low end for a food concept because some of them are like, wow, I mean, 250, 500,000
Right.
before you can even begin to make any money. So let's just talk about like training. So once somebody decides to come on board as a franchisee, let's talk about they're going to train at your store, obviously, and
Right.
then you will be with them when they open their store for how long?
Correct.
And tell us about that,
Correct.
if you will.
Okay, well, ideally, they would come and work with us side by side for about 2 weeks, longer if we need to, but we would show them the ropes, everything, because again, we make everything from scratch. So our chicken salad, our shrimp salad, our potato salad or coleslaw, you get all the recipes. We show you hands-on how to do all of that. We train you how to make the dough, and then once the dough is done, how to actually make it into the bread, the cooking, and we go with you through vendors that we use. Although we don't require you to use certain vendors, we have it down to a science as to what products work best, which flours, everything. So we would train you. Ideally, 2 weeks is what you would need, but longer if we feel like you need it. And then when you are ready to open, we would be there, a few days beforehand to make sure that everything is functioning properly, that everyone is trained, that the recipes taste right, and then be there with you a few days while you go through your opening process to make sure again that all your questions are answered, and we can be there to make sure that the transition is easy and pretty steady.
So, as far as the marketing goes, what has been your best source of business? Has it been mostly like word of mouth? Do you get a lot of traffic from like Instagram because you have such beautiful, presentation with your food? I mean, what works best for you?
Well, word of mouth is probably number one. And then right after that are our Google reviews and our Yelp reviews. We are the top in our area, and the number of people that tell us that they're traveling and they'll use Google to say what's the best restaurant near me, and 10 times out of 10 we come up, and so we're I'd say about 5-6 miles from interstate, and the number of people that say, well, we don't like to eat at traditional fast food chains, so your reviews were so good we figured it was worth driving just off of interstate to come give you a try. So
That's cool.
those are our two biggest: the word of mouth and then the Google and Yelp reviews.
That is awesome. Do you do much marketing through Instagram?
Um, we used to, um, but we just didn't have a lot of success with it.
Right.
And the social media, other than our Facebook is very, very successful for us, mainly because I have my personal page, the cafe has a page, and then a lot of the community pages, like the word of mouth, like there's a Gainesville word of mouth, a Alachua word of mouth, and a lot of little towns near us that I post our specials on daily.
Right.
And we get a lot of feedback from that. But Instagram, the social media aspect keeps changing so much, and
Yeah.
the professionals like, well, you need to do 3 videos a day, and you need to do live 2 or 3 times a week, and it's just not practical.
You just need to start your own podcast and call it Rolling in the Dough. I mean, that's really what you should do. I mean,
Yeah, exactly. Yeah,
that'd be great. And then
yeah.
one of the features of your show, you could interview your customers and just they could tell what they love about the uniqueness of the concept.
And another part of the concept is that it's entertaining because you get to watch us roll the dough. You get to watch us cut it, wrap it onto the dowel, watch it rise. You watch it bake. So
That's
it's
cool.
it's very entertaining, and people will be fixated, because it's a small area, and you get to see the entire process start to finish, should you choose to.
Yeah, that's
And
cool.
it's you know people will talk to me while I'm trying. I try not to get nervous because you can mess up, because it's stage fright a little bit. But people do this like, do you mind if I take a video or take pictures while you're doing it? And so I just try to be conversational and talk to them while they're they're getting things for their own social media.
Yeah, that's cool. Yeah, that's good. That's really cool. That's a neat concept too, because that's not something that commonly see in like a
Right.
restaurant, especially a sandwich style restaurant.
Mhm.
So is there like a special oven that you use to bake the bread in, or?
Yeah, there was all the equipment is specially made, and so we have a rotisserie oven that will hold 6 loaves of bread at a time, and so we're constantly. I keep it like a conveyor system. I'll get 6 done, let them cool while they're cooling. I put 6 more on, and while they're going, I wrap more dough, so that I can just keep that whole process going throughout the day.
Well,
And people love it.
if you only had a record of how many miles of dough that you've actually done, that would be really cool. Now
Yeah,
serving one million five hundred
I
seventy nine
I
thousandth
know.
mile of.
I know. Well, I know that I roll between 7 and 8 thousand loaves every year.
Well, that'd be cool if you could measure how long they were if they were just completely
Oh,
unrolled and then
I
do the
know.
math.
It
Yeah.
would
And
circle the planet. Yes.
yeah, what's great about AI like Gemini, man, you just put the figures and it'll tell you in like
Yeah.
3.2 milliseconds. Oh, you rolled 472 miles a dough.
Yeah.
Uh, because people love that kind of stuff. And but that's cool. So if someone is interested in buying a franchise, we're talking with Robert Geiger of Spinwiches. It's what a great concept, and that's the
Thank you.
website. Just think spin, the word spin, like spin the top, and then the last part of the word sandwiches, spinwiches.com. That's the domain. Their website. The franchise link is under the Our Story link on their primary nav menu there, but you can also go to spinwichesfranchising.com.
Right.
Great concept, all investment range between 125 and 225, I think it was. But just a unique concept and beautiful, I mean, homemade everything. I mean, it's great.
Yeah.
And there's nothing else out there like it. I mean, I've never heard it, and I've been in the franchising world intensely now for like a year and a half, and like I said, I've never seen or heard of anything quite like it. And that's to me, that's a huge plus. When you can have a concept that nobody else has. I mean, that gives you an edge right there from the
Yeah.
start.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
Well,
what I
Robert,
like is it's not a trendy thing that we're doing.
right.
Uh, it's got legs. It's got staying power. I remember a few years ago when I was living in Georgia, the big rage was like the crepe restaurants, and how many crepe restaurants are left?
Yeah.
Because everyone, But this is something that it is not a trendy thing. It is, like you said, very unique, but it's got a lot of flavor. And again, people tell us they can tell that it's made fresh. Like our soups, everything is made from scratch, and it shows a big difference than something that is prepackaged.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Well, Robert, this has been a lot of fun. If someone wants to get more information, I know they can fill out the form on the website. You can also download the brochure on the franchise
Mhm.
information website. Did you want to give out your direct contact information or email? Somebody want to get a hold of you?
Oh, if somebody wants, if they're interested and want to talk to me directly, the best thing would be to email us at spinwiches at gmail.com, and I will be happy to answer any questions. It's difficult on the phone just because we're so busy during the day, but we can start an initial conversation online, and then we can start phone calls from there. But again, spinwiches at gmail.com, and I'll be glad to answer any questions.
Yeah. I bet you wasn't surprised when that one wasn't taken, were you?
Well, we were very, very pleased to be able to secure the trademark and copyright for the term.
Yeah, it's a very unique. I like it better than the original name, to be honest with you. I think it has a little more flair to it and,
Yeah.
gets people thinking for sure.
Mhm.
So once again, as we get ready to close here, you're listening to the Franchise Flashlights podcast series on franchiseradio.net. We've been talking with Robert Geiger. He is the founder of Spinwiches, which is a really unique concept on sub-type sandwiches, but you have to check out the website to see the difference. Everything's homemade, beautiful presentation, and again, nothing else out there like it except for their primary location in High Springs, Florida. Any closing remarks before we wrap it up, Mr. Geiger?
Well, I just appreciate the being on here and getting the word out about Spinwiches, and hopefully we will start getting some call-ins.
Yeah, hopefully we get some folks rolling in the dough.
Rolling in the dough, exactly. I think we're going to have some T-shirts made with that
There
phrase
you
on
go. There you go, buddy.
there.
That's great. On the front, you could say rolling the dough and then have like a picture of you actually, making, and on the back, buy a franchise and be rolling in the dough. That would be
Rolling in
very
the dough.
cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, very cool. All right, Robert, thank you so much. And thank you for tuning in to the Franchise Flashlight podcast series on franchiseradio.net. My name is Todd Abraham. And if you are interested in buying a franchise with this awesome company, you can also contact me directly at 423-381-0925. And I am on Eastern Standard Time. Thank you and good night.